Hi, welcome to the Vergas Show. I'm Sherry Hansen. I'm sitting out in this beautiful park. It's called Lonnie's Park. It's located right outside of Vergas, and I'm with Ron Nicolai. Thanks, Ron, for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
We're going to talk about this just a little bit. I just want to make sure that everybody got to Vergas for Lonnie Days, and hopefully you enjoyed the wonderful celebration that the town has. And I guess the thing with Lonnie Days that I want to make sure that people realize is that isn't the end of the summer for Vergas. Still keep coming to Vergas. There's still a lot going on. The shops are open. People are around. The parks are ready to have people come to and enjoy family time. And that's why I think it's so appropriate to be out at your park here, Ron. And I appreciate the fact that you invited me out here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about Lonnie's Park. First of all, where it's located.
It's about 5 miles from Vergas on Highway 35.
So we're right between Vergas and Ghent, pretty much,
correct.
aren't we? Okay.
More or less in the center. And we're on 338th Avenue. That's a gravel road. 335th Avenue is a tar road a little bit further to get here.
Now, I've always noticed the sign out there, Lonnie's Park, and I never had been down here before, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Tell me the history of your park here.
Well, my wife and I purchased the land in 1979. Our son Lonnie had motorbikes and things, and he liked speed. And we wanted to keep him off the road because this is not a real good road here. So we bought this with the idea that I was going to clear it, a little bit of it, and I was going to put a garden in, and he could use his bikes back here.
Go as fast as he wanted,
That's
right?
So we cleared it for a couple of years, did some work, because it was a pasture that had a lot of brush on it and a lot of junk. And then in 81, Lonnie died in a home accident. And after that, it was in October 4th that he passed away. Well, the following year, my wife just could not handle coming down to the lakes.
Understandably.
So I decided that I was going to come down every weekend. I closed my business up on Thursday night, come down and spend the weekend. I'd come down and just work on the park Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And after about 3-4 years of clearing it, I decided this should be a memorial park. It was purchased for him, and I thought then we should have it for him. So we started.
What a wonderful tribute.
And we just do a little something every year.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the teepee. I love the... Now, tell me a little bit about this, the building that we're sitting at here, this cabin. Now, you had kind of had a vision of a town, right? Like an old western town.
This is what we had talked about. In this cabin, I talked about it for 20 years, because 20 years ago behind this building is a bunch of evergreens that I planted, because I wanted this cabin to fit into the evergreens like the old pioneers would have.
Sure.
So that's what I did, and I finally started it, and I think I started in 2006, finished it in 2007. I have a nephew that comes down and helps me an awful lot. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for my nephew this year and my wife, the park would not be in the shape that it is because of my age. I get tired faster.
You've got a lot of land here, and you keep it mowed up. And I notice you've got different memorial trees. You've got different different areas to sit down, the picnic tables, and the gardens are just beautiful. Now, the dollhouse, that's just going up this year?
I started it last year. I'm trying to finish it this year, and then started another building that's going to be a jail for next year to work on. My wife has a doll collection, and we decided that we should have a place to display it.
Okay.
I will mention one thing about this building.
Yes.
It's all salvageable material.
Really?
It's there's very little new material in it. Like the outside, these boards, man had a fence, blew down 3 times. His wife wouldn't let him put it back up. He was going to burn it. Instead, I got it from him. I took it apart and cut the boards up, and that's what the outside's made out of.
So recycling is definitely...
This whole building is recycled material as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
There's
that's
some
pretty
new
neat
stuff,
too.
But we used recyclable, trying to keep it as old as possible.
Okay, that's pretty
And then
neat.
we used to go to auction sales, buy a lot of antique stuff.
Sure, and I see all that
we've
displayed.
got it all in the park, plus our cabin. We have a cabin on West McDonald Lake, just over here. So.
Okay. What is the park used for besides just yourselves coming down and enjoying?
Well, you'd really be surprised of how many people go through the park. I mean, we have books, and they're from all over visiting here. They're from all over the world. 2 weeks ago, we had a family of 12 from Norway. They come and walk through. It's so peaceful and quiet.
It is very peaceful.
People just like and then the local people come walk around because of the peaceful quietness of it. And so it's used for that. And we've had...
Basically, it's open. People can come.
It's open all the time. This building is... All of our stuff is open. We don't lock anything.
No.
And we've had weddings down here. There's picnics being held. We have a family that on the only day they don't work is Labor Day, and they come over here and have a picnic all day.
Have a family picnic. Now, do they need to call you, Ron, and reserve?
Well, the weddings, any big things, yes, because
we have
scheduling. Then we have a scheduling.
Sure.
But any small things, it's open to anybody that wants to come.
How do they get a hold of you, Ron?
We're in the phone book here, and then we have cards printed up of Lonnie's Park with directions and phone numbers.
And how often are you down here? If somebody would just drop in and...
I come down every Thursday night. I close the business up Thursday night, come down, and I spend all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday back here. Okay. I'm not a fisherman. The lake is nice, but this is my dream.
This is your passion.
Yeah.
Yes, this is. Well, this is a beautiful park. It's a beautiful memorial to your son, Ron, and I just really appreciate the fact that you've brought us out here. And I think what I'm getting from you is you really open it to anybody who wants to come down. Have you ever had any problem with just leaving anything open?
In the years that we've had it, we've only had 2 problems, and the one was a sandbox we put in. We put all of Lonnie's Tonka toys in there, with the understanding between my wife and I that they may be stolen, and somebody did steal them. And then a couple of years later, she had bought a bunch of gnomes, really nice gnomes, and somebody stole them. But I'll tell you what, the people around here are so courteous. There's never a beer can, pop can, cigarette butt, nothing.
No.
And they watch out, because one time a gentleman was back here, my wife was back here, she has an ATV, and she was back here, and this gentleman went over to her. He said, "Do you really think you should be driving around here with that?" She said, "Well, I know the owner." She didn't say it.
No.
You know.
Right,
and he said, "Well, as long as it's okay with Ron," then he says, but I just didn't think. So people are so courteous.
And that's a nice story to hear.
We've just
that's good to hear.
No problems whatsoever.
Yeah, well, hopefully you get a chance to come out and enjoy Lonnie's Park, and hopefully, Ron, you're here to visit with them when they do. Thank you for taking time to be on the Vergas Show today.
Thank you.
You bet. Have a good day in Vergas.